Welcome to Kindergarten Roundup for the 2020-2021 school year. My name is Judy Snyder, and I have taught kindergarten in the West Des Moines Community Schools for many years. You are in great hands. I have a lot of information to share with you. I hope that it will answer many of your questions about kindergarten and hopefully settle some of your fears. Let's get started. During today's presentation, we hope that you'll become familiar with the West Des Moines Community School District's kindergarten program. We want you to understand how you can help prepare your kindergartner for the fall. We hope you'll find out how you can register for bus transportation and learn more about nutrition services like breakfast and lunch offerings. We also hope that you will discover a wide variety of additional resources that are offered to your family. The kindergarten program in West Des Moines has one certified classroom teacher and one teaching assistant in each section. For as long as I've taught in West Des Moines, they've continued to put resources toward providing this extra adult in all kindergarten classrooms. There will be 3 or 4 full-day kindergarten sections in each building, depending on the size of the building. The hours for kindergarten will be from 9:05 to 3:55 on Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday, and from 9:05 to 3:10 on early dismissal collaboration Wednesdays. A lot has changed over the years in kindergarten, but we try to keep some guiding principles in mind. First, we know that learning in all areas of development is important. We'll keep a close eye on those academic skills and we'll report progress to you on those, but we also think it's important for children to develop socially, for their character to grow, for their motor skills to stay on track, and for them to be exposed to the arts. Learning in kindergarten should be hands-on and discovery-based. The day will be filled with lots of modeling, followed by small group guided practice, and then independent practice. We know that children learn best when they are fully engaged. It's easy to do with math and science, but we also want reading and writing to be hands-on. They will have books and writing materials in their hands from the very first day. Finally, we know that all children can succeed in our kindergarten programs. We expect a wide range of abilities, but we have high expectations for growth. We know that all children can be successful. During the daily reading block, children will be involved in many different reading activities. During the read aloud, the teacher reads a story to the children. This gives the teacher a chance to model fluent reading, to expose children to rich vocabulary, and to gauge them in great plot lines. During shared reading, the teacher uses an enlarged text to draw children's attention to the print on the page. In this way, children can be exposed to how print is organized, how a reader uses letters and sounds to decipher what the words are, and how the pictures and the print are related. During small group reading, children are grouped with other children who have similar reading abilities. At this point, children can have a book in their hands. It's a hands-on experience with reading. The teacher again models and watches children closely as they use strategies for decoding and also for understanding. The final daily reading activity is independent reading. Every day, students are given a chance to read books independently and practice some of those books that they were exposed to during small group reading. They're also allowed to just look at books during a restful time midday. Reading begins by using simple books that contain a complete sentence on each page, many early sight words, and a repetitive nature. That might be that the sentence on each page looks very similar with just 1 or 2 words changing. With these kind of books, we can start to expose children to how the pictures that they've been so focused on relates to the words on the page, and how it is the words that readers use to decipher meaning. As you look for books over the summer that you could start to engage your children with, you might want to look back at those early toddler books. Many of those books have a single sentence on each page with nice wide spacing and simple vocabulary. You can also look in the bookstores for book series that are phonetic readers, or I know there is a Bob book series that has like the simple sight word type reading program. Your libraries will have some organized leveled readers if you ask the librarian to help you find those. Just be aware that not all books marked early readers are good for teaching your child how to read. Some of those might have 1 or 2 words on a page, but the words are large and the vocabulary is anything but simple. So start to look for books in your environment that can help your children engage with print over the summer. Children will participate in literacy stations during reading block every day. These stations are hands-on manipulatives that involve letter names, sounds, words, sentence building kinds of activities. They are hands-on and fun, highly engaging, and allow the teacher to work with small groups of children during the reading block. Students whose primary home language is not English are assisted daily through small group instruction with an ESOL teacher. This will be a pull-out 30 to 45 minutes a day where they work on vocabulary as well as practice the kinds of skills that have been introduced in the classroom. The ESOL teachers will also come in and work collaboratively within the kindergarten classrooms. Similar to the reading block, writing instruction will be delivered in many different ways throughout the day. The teacher will demonstrate how writing works, focusing on the composition of writing, how it is presented on a page from left to right, how you return to the left on the following line, how words are groups of letters separated by spacemen, how punctuation works and informs the reader. By writing in front of them and showing them how writing works, they can learn and have something new to practice. There will also be guided writing experiences that may involve the teacher sharing the pen, whole group, so the children are coming up and adding the next word in the sentence or filling in those sight words. The teacher might also guide writing instruction by working with individuals or small groups during the writing block. And finally, there'll be independent practice daily. So from the very first days, students are challenged to use what they know to create meaningful text. The Iowa Core math standards include the following strands: counting and cardinality, operations and algebra, number and base 10, measurement and data, and geometry. Kindergarten concepts within those strands involve the biggies: number names, counting in a sequence to 100, one-to-one counting of objects with a finger voice match, and also being able to compare numbers, what's greater, what's smaller, that kind of thing. In operations and algebra, it will involve the beginning concepts of addition and subtraction. We want students to be able to fluently do addition and subtraction with sums up to 5, and then also be able to decompose numbers up to 10. So know that numbers can be broken down into 2 smaller groups. In numbers in base 10, we work on place value, 10s and 1s, at least through those teens numbers, so they know that 13 is 110 and 3 extra, understanding number in that format. Measurement and data, graphing, there'll be a lot of graphing, interpretation of graphs and how to read them. And in geometry, we work on naming and drawing 2D and 3-dimensional shapes. Social skills are very important to success in kindergarten. We have a program that provides a place to develop social skills and practice those positive social interactions daily. Those opportunities come through student choice, through time where they get to direct their own learning and make choices within the classroom. They'll have chances to play together in outdoor free play and also at lunchtime. And then we have cultures in our kindergarten that allow for children to share with each other, to share with a large group, to play with smaller groups, just a caring, open culture. A typical kindergarten schedule will involve the following. There will be an opening activity, some sort of soft start, morning meeting, sharing time, calendar work, that kind of thing, which lasts about 30 minutes. The reading block in its entirety with all the components I talked about will last 100 minutes. That may be broken up throughout the day. AM and PM recess will each be about 15 minutes in length for a total of 30 minutes. Math, which includes the large group lesson as well as the small group partner practice, will be about 45 minutes. Lunch and recess amount to about 45 minutes all total. Independent reading and rest time. There'll be a time where your students can either read independently or a combination of reading and resting for about 20 minutes. Their writing instruction period will be about 40 minutes, including the teaching lesson as well as independent practice. There'll be perhaps a differentiated small group time where students are working on various academic concepts and different academic areas, followed by maybe some self-selection time, a chance to play within the room. There'll be science and social studies units, which take about 40 minutes per day, and then also a specials class, which could include art, music, PE, guidance, maybe trips to the library. Those special classes are about 30 minutes in length. The specials classes that kindergartners are allowed to participate in include music 2 times a week for 30 minutes, art for 30 minutes a week, physical education 30 minutes a week. There'll be guidance instruction from the guidance counselor. That'll be 30 minutes a week. Perhaps technology offered either within a lab or with Chromebooks in the classroom for about 30 to 45 minutes a week, and then also media center time to check out books and hear a story with the media center specialist. Those classes may either be delivered within the classroom, the kindergarten classroom, or in a different setting within the building. Most parents come to Kindergarten Roundup wanting to know, what do you expect my child to know when they come to kindergarten? What is it that they need to be able to do? So the next part of the presentation will focus on those things that we as kindergarten teachers expect students to come into kindergarten with some level of proficiency in, and also what the state is saying about what is proficient for an entering kindergartner. So we'll start with social skills. Kids who enter kindergarten need to have some level of skill socially and emotionally. If they've never been to a situation where there has been one adult leading a group of children, some of these things may not have been practiced. So look for ways over the summer that you can give them practice with these kinds of social skills. We sometimes jump right away into what academic knowledge do they need to have before they come to kindergarten. But these social emotional skills are as important as those academic readiness issues. They need to have some level of skill and practice on these kinds of things. These social skills can be a better predictor for their success in kindergarten than any of the academic knowledge that they may come with. So let's work our way down the list. A kindergartner will be expected to control their impulses and their emotions to some level. Throwing temper tantrums to get what you want, shouting when things don't go right, hurting others because you're frustrated, those kind of skills we need to work through. So if you're seeing any of that kind of thing, now's the time to start addressing it. They need to be able to pay attention for an appropriate amount of time. So we often say kids in kindergarten have very short attention spans, and they do, but we can stretch that attention span. So by expecting them to do things for longer periods of time, by setting a timer that says, I want you to stick with it for this long. Those are ways that you can increase the amount of time that they can appropriately listen. Children in kindergarten will be expected to remember and follow directions. Again, just be looking for ways that your child responds to a direction. Do they follow it the first time? Do they wait until they've frustrated you before they finally start following it? Is that a function of the fact that they can't or that they just don't want to? Just be aware of how well they're remembering and following your directions. They need to be able to persist at a challenging task. So make sure that you're not backing off of the challenges, but that you're teaching them ways to persist and to stick with it when the task gets challenging. Showing empathy for others, just being able to take another's point of view. You can do a lot of role play as you get ready for kindergarten. So that might be one of the things you can work on as you just role play and give them an idea of how their actions have affected you by just telling them. And they have to be able to accept correction. I think one of the hardest things is that, there is going to be sometimes a right and a wrong answer. Sometimes I am going to say, you did this well, but we need to work on this. So they need to be able to accept that and should be accepting that from you as well. Kindergartners will also be expected to know some personal information. It is just safe for them to come to school knowing some of these basic facts about themselves. They should be able to tell their full name, first and last. They should know their address, and they should know their phone number. Work on one phone number that they can remember. And they should also be able to tell their parents' name. Make sure you practice on self-help skills before your child comes to kindergarten. These would include things like using the bathroom independently. If you're having any issues with this, it's probably time to talk to your doctor about that. And if there are known things happening around bathroom issues, please let your nurse, your school nurse, and also your classroom teacher know. They should be able to use a tissue independently. They should be able to take shoes off and on by themselves. Now, there's lots of options for shoes. So if tying is not something that you've practiced on and that they can do independently, please send them with shoes that they can take on and off by themselves. They need to be able to zip their coats. So as you're buying things for the fall, please make sure that you've picked a style and a coat that they can zip by themselves. Also teach them how to zip. Most kids can pick it up pretty quickly if they're given the time to learn it and they're shown how. They need to be able to correct those inside out sleeves. If you've always done those kind of tasks for them, then it's time to teach them. Again, they can learn very quickly if you just show them how to reach in, grab the end, and pull it back out. And they should be expected to clean up after themselves after they've eaten and also during play. So when they come to kindergarten, we'll expect them to know how to clean up toys and put them away and not be surprised by that expectation. So now let's take a look at reading and writing skills, what we expect kindergartners to come in with. We expect them to recognize and be able to write their first name. The room is going to be set up for their independence, and a lot of that setup relies on them being able to find their name, to be able to tag their paper or their drawing with their own name. So we do need to work on this right away. If they come in not knowing it, it'll be one of the first things that we enlist your help on doing. We will present their name with a capital letter for the first letter and all the rest in lowercase. If that's not a form that your child's used to, please start to show them that form over the summer. Also, it's important that you model how to make the letters. A lot of kids will draw letters or form them from the bottom up if we don't explicitly show them how to pull down when they form letters. They should have some understanding of the alphabet. Most people start with the song, so knowing the alphabet song and being able to sing it correctly is a great place to start. A lot of kids will learn that, memorize that song from way little on. The next step is to get some sort of alphabet visual, so an alphabet card or a display of all the letters in some sort of alphabet book. And while they sing the song, match the letters with a point. So be able to point to the letters as they sing through the song. You'll quickly realize that singing the song needs to slow way down, and that in order to name and know what they're singing about, they need to carefully point to L, M, N, O, P. That'll give them more of an idea of those letter names. It's a great place to start. It's usually how kids quickly pick up those letter names. With letter sounds, a great thing to do is to just use alphabet books that have a visual again of something that starts with that letter. It's important to teach kids that the sound for B is not ball, but the sound for B is just the B, the beginning part of ball. There's also many, many apps that you can get that can teach kids letter sounds and get them quickly memorizing that information. The basic concepts about print that I mentioned we will be focusing on when we use enlarged text is what you do with your child when you have them in your lap for reading. Make sure you're reading to them daily. It will teach these concepts. In a read aloud with a child on my lap, I wouldn't stop on each page to point out all of these things, but within the story reading, you want to make sure you talk about the front of the back of the book, that you start at the top, that, oh, look at this page, it has words at the top and the bottom, where do I go first? And with pages that have just simple lines with maybe not too much print to show them how readers look at the word across and then return to the left. Those things, again, I wouldn't point to throughout the whole book, but some understanding of that would be something you want to talk through. Phonemic awareness is the understanding that spoken words are made up of sound bits. So as you are just expanding their knowledge of how words work and how reading and writing work, one of the first things they have to grasp is the understanding of those sounds. So by playing games, we call it sound segmentation, where you teach them to take the sounds out of a word, or sound blending, where they put sounds together to make a word. Those kind of games are important to do before kindergarten starts. You could do them in the car, you can do them in the dark. So laying in bed at night, one of the last things you do before you say goodnight and close that door is just play some games like this. You know, I'm going to say a word slowly by sounds. You put it together and tell me what my word is. So, oh, ite, light, at, mat, like that. You say it slow, child puts it together. The reverse of that then is the segmenting. The segmentation tasks sound more like this. I would say boat, and then the child would have to go boat. We often teach them to mark sounds on their body or to mark them on their finger, something that helps them to draw out those sound bits and to say them slowly. Now, as soon as they can do that and they have memorized letter to sound match, then we can teach them to write. We can teach them how words are made up of those sounds represented by those letters. In the area of math, kindergartners should come in knowing their shapes, their basic two-dimensional shapes that they probably learned in preschool or in your household, and also the basic colors. So shapes and colors we consider preschool tasks. They should come in knowing those. We expect them to have rehearsed or practiced the counting sequence to 20. So going to 20 ensures that they have been taught that sequence through the teens. That really needs to be a memorized sequence. So going to 10 is very typical, but going to 20 just gives your child a little bit more memorized information. Maybe before they even understand exactly what those teens are, they can at least say them in the correct sequence. So counting sequence to 20. They should be able to count with an accurate finger to object match. We call that one-to-one correspondence. They should be able to count objects at least up to a group of 10. And again, show them how to not leave objects in a pile, how to move them with their finger as they count them, or to point accurately and not to skip over, that their count needs to follow the same speed as their match, their finger match. They should be able to recognize number symbols up to 10. So not just when they're in order, but mix them up. They should be able to recognize those symbols in and out of order to 10. They should be able to write symbols to 10. So again, it's a matter of showing them how to do it, starting at the top. When we come to kindergarten, those will be some of the first things that we work on so that we can rely on using those symbols throughout the year. And you want to use a number line, even if you just draw one on a piece of paper, use a number line to 10 to just show them how numbers increase by 1 as you move forward on the number line. What direction is forward on the number line? What direction is back? Bigger numbers are moving forward. Numbers get less as you go back. Those kind of understandings are just the start of numbers. So the last area of readiness that I'll address is separation from home. For some kindergartners entering school, this is not an issue at all. They've had lots of experiences out of the home and will be fine coming to school. For other kids, this will be a first experience where they've left home and entering a large group of kids in a new place. So here's some ideas of things you can do just to ease that separation. First of all, you can read books about starting school. There are many, many out there. Just books about school in general. One of my favorite authors is Kevin Hankus, who writes a lot of books about a little mouse family just going off to school. You can also request a school visit. Most teachers are in the building working on their classrooms from mid to the latter part of August. And even if it's before your child's days of heading back to school, you can call school and request that you come for a visit. I would role play scenarios. Just find out what they're afraid of. What do you think it's going to be like? Just role play and give them the words to say to help them through those experiences that they're scared about. So, how would you ask a friend to play with you? How are you going to ask to use the bathroom? And just practice. Give them the words to practice. Also, you just want to make sure that they're secure in how they're going to get to school and how they're going to get picked up, and walk through that. Just go through it with them. Practice the walk to school. Practice how pickup will look. Role play again, how those things will go. And the final thing I'll say is just parents, those children are going to read your emotions more than anything. So sometimes it's the parent that has the problem with the separation, but in front of your child, and especially on those days when you get to go to school for the first time, you have to model confidence in your child. The way you act is going to tell them if you believe they can be successful at this, or if you're worried they can't. So if you're not feeling secure and confident, you must fake it and just pretend that things will be just fine, and usually they are.
Each year, West Des Moines Community Schools traditionally hosts home visits, where teachers will come and visit your home within the first 2 weeks of school. However, this coming year will look a little different. This year, kindergartners will dismiss at 12:30 p.m. on the first 3 days of school, August 26th, 27th, and 28th. Teachers will reach out to you to have one-on-one conversations during those afternoons to get to know more about your student.
Hello and welcome to the nutrition portion of Kindergarten Roundup. My name is Willow Dye, and I am a registered dietitian and the Director of Nutrition Services for the West Des Moines Schools. First, I will talk about our breakfast programs. Breakfast is the most important meal of the day. Breakfast in all of our buildings is served 30 minutes prior to the school day and includes fruits, vegetables, milks, grains, meats, and meat alternates. Each school has 3 entree choices available for breakfast, such as a hot entree choice, a cereal and toast choice, and a yogurt and toast choice. Pricing is $2 for paid students and 30 cents if you qualify for reduced meals, and free if you qualify for free priced meal benefits. Breakfast is also included in our Kids West Care program. For lunch, we also have 3 entree choices available daily, and there is no need to sign up for those. Each lunch includes fruits, vegetables, milk, meat alternates, grains, and all of our fruits and vegetables are unlimited amounts of servings, so if students are hungry, they can always eat more of our fruits and vegetables. Pricing is $2.90 for paid students, 40 cents for reduced students, and free if you qualify for free meal benefits. We also have a limited amount of a la carte items available at our elementaries to supplement home lunch meals or also our lunch meals. Those items are string cheese, milk, juice, and additional whole grain entree or a la carte items. If you'd like more information on our menus, you can visit NutriSlice. We have photos, nutrition facts, and allergen descriptions available. And speaking of allergens, if your student has allergies or requires a diet modification, there's a form available on our website that can be completed by a physician so that we can alter their menu. If you would like to view detailed transactions, set up low balance alerts, and also set restrictions on your student's account, you can do that by visiting schoolcafe.com, and a link to that is on our website. Our payment system is the same as used for all of West Des Moines schools, in-touch receipting. You will also be able to view balances on in-touch receipting payment system. Thank you, and we look forward to serving your student next year.
West Des Moines Community Schools Bus Transportation Department is excited to pick up your kindergarten student this fall. We work very hard to route our busing as close to your residence as possible. However, if you live on a cul-de-sac, dead-end street, or in an apartment complex, your student will need to walk to the opening of that street or complex to be picked up and dropped off each day. West Des Moines Community Schools has 3 zones: a walk zone, which is approximately 3/8 a mile from the school, a pay zone, which is up to 2 miles from the school, and a free zone, which is for residents that are more than 2 miles from the school. Each of these zones are calculated by the Bus Transportation Department. If you have questions, please feel free to reach out to them. If your child will be riding the bus this fall, please register online now at WDMCS.org under the Transportation tab. Payments can be made online for busing after July 1. Your student's bus pass and other details will be mailed to your home just before the start of school. Bus transportation will look a little bit different for the first 3 days of school this fall. As mentioned earlier, rather than the traditional home visits, we are going to let kindergarten students out at 12:30 p.m. August 26th, 27th, and 28th for teachers to reach out to parents and learn more about their kindergarten student. Students will be dropped off early on those 3 dates. If you'd like to learn more, please visit discover.wdmcs.org/transportation or email transportationteam@wdmcs.org. We look forward to busing your student this fall.
The Kids West Child Care Program provides safe, affordable, and convenient childcare for West Des Moines Community School students in grades K through 6. During the school year, Kids West is held in each elementary building's cafeteria and gym. Both before and after school care is available, and students have the opportunity to socialize, enjoying games, crafts, and outdoor play together in a safe, supervised environment. Kids West also offers full day care on teacher in-service days, during breaks, and it has an awesome summer program. Kids West is licensed by the Iowa Department of Human Services. Registration for the 2020-2021 school year is currently underway and closes on Monday, May 4th. Space is limited, so visit the WDMCS Community Education website for more information and to register today. Camp Kindergarten is a week-long summer program where your child will have a chance to see what kindergarten is really like. Led by a WDMCS kindergarten teacher, they'll get to ride a school bus, try fun activities, and learn some simple routines that will make the first days of kindergarten a little easier. Camp Kindergarten meets at 5 different elementary school buildings. You do not need to sign up for the session at your child's future school, but if that's something you would like, we encourage you to register early. Safety Town is a week-long program for incoming kindergartners that teaches safety and preventative practices. Students learn about being safe through a variety of fun, interactive activities, field trips to the West Des Moines Police and Fire Departments, and more. At the end of Safety Town, students graduate and get to share all they've learned with their parents. Sign up now to secure your child's spot.
So what's next for you and your kindergarten student? You will receive an email from your principal informing you of your class assignment in early August. You'll also get an email from your student's teacher, including reminders about early dismissals and hopefully an ice cream social this August. The first day of school is scheduled for Wednesday, August 26th. We have a list of forms online that will help you prepare for kindergarten. You'll need to have a completed physical form, immunization records, dental screening, and vision screening forms filled out. If you require assistance getting vaccinations updated, the Polk County Health Department is available to give reduced cost or free vaccines. If you have questions or concerns, please contact your school's health office. If your child has food allergies, asthma, or significant health concerns, we want to know about it. In addition, if your student needs to take medication at school, please take time to call or meet with the school nurse before school starts. We can't wait to see you this fall. Visit WDMCS.org to learn more. You'll see links to the forms information about transportation and nutrition, and many of the other items that were discussed in this video.